Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 10th of May, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear here from that little corner in there, and then, we can go from there. Okay, hello again, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Wednesday. So, look, in these sessions, what do we do normally? We look at the technicals, some of the fundamentals. We try to apply that to the fundamentals, of course. And we'll have a look at the different setups. What can we potentially expect? Before we go in there, I just wanted to quickly mention of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. So now then, to the charts. Nikkei 225. Look, I'm gonna kind of talk about this one again because again, I every morning I look at these indices, then commodities, then cryptos, and then finally forex. So, look, Nikkei 225, so far kind of so good. What's interesting here is that this 29,235 level continues to provide good resistance. And this level here is the highest point of August of 2022. And if I'm not mistaken, sorry, that's not the highest point of 2022. The highest point of 22 is slightly above that, 29,425. So the highest point of August of 2022 is so far providing fantastic resistance. Now, look, in order to go higher, certainly a breakout above this barrier is needed, and not only a breakout, we would like to see the body of the daily candle staying above it. If we can get that, then great. More buyers could join in. For the downside, look, I'm going to stick to a bit of a conservative approach, and not only that I need to see a break of this upside line, but also a drop below this highlighted territory between the 28,733 and 93 levels right here. So the same analysis is valid. I mean, probably you're already tired of me talking about the same thing, but hey, so far it's working out nicely. This resistance area is providing a good hold up, so we're keeping a close eye on it. And if we clear it, then great. More buyers could join in. Let me just adjust this a little bit. It can be a little bit darker. Just bear with me. There we go. So this is the barrier that I'm looking at, this 29,235. I need to see a clearance of it in order to go further north. Now, ASX 200. Look, the same story kind of, and yesterday I talked about this and I said to you that in a way we could, if we continue to trade somewhere above this territory, above this, this 50-day EMA or maybe even this 100-day EMA, then there is still potential for this one to move higher, but a confirmation break here is needed above that 7,300 territory in order to go a little bit higher here. So if we do get that push, then great. I will aim for some higher levels. Now for the downside, what I would like to see here is a drop at least below this hurdle, below that 7,217 territory. At the same time, we would fall below the 100-day EMA, and this could open the door towards that 200-day EMA, which recently acted as a fantastic area of support. So let's see if we can get something like that. But Again, do not exclude false breakouts, because, for example, what can happen here is today we have the CPIs, and if you don't forget about that. And the heading of my webinar says that, so could be a market mover. But yeah, look, let's for now just keep it wise and simple, and if we do get a clearance through one of these barriers, then that's from where I will consider the next short-term directional move. Until then, and as long as we remain here in this territory, I'm just observing the price action. Now, Nifty 50, look, I talked about this one yesterday, and I said to keep your eyes on that 18,342, because, okay, yes, while I was running yesterday's video, we were slightly above this barrier, and we were creating this new all-time high, sorry, not all-time high, new high for the year, for this year, because, by the way, this barrier is the previous highest level of the year. And yeah, this 18,342 got violated, and got violated today as well. So what do we need here? Well, we need another push above it, and I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying above this area in order to get more comfortable with higher levels. Then, of course, we could start aiming for this little territory right there, the 18,519, and then we'll take it from there. We'll go slowly on this one. But the fact that we are seeing quite a strong holdup near that previous highest point of this year, that just kind of indicates to a possible maybe retracement of some sort here. So if we do continue to hold below that hurdle, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. But what I said to you recently, that I will consider a slight move lower if we do fall back below this 18,267 territory right here, which provided fantastic resistance and support in recent past. So, but then I'm not getting bearish, because we have this upside line. Which could kind of play out nicely here. So if we break the upside line, then yes, more sellers could join in, and we could see a deeper slide here. So yeah, for now, let's keep an eye on that one. It could be quite interesting, but again, some confirmation breaks are required. Now, Nasdaq 100. So beautiful and boring at the same time. So of course, everybody's psyched about the inflation number coming out today. Look, the expectation. Let me just refresh my memory. I think it was 5. No, just a sec. Where is that? CPI, there we go. So the current expectation is for the year-on-year number, headline year-on-year number. The expectation is for the same number to, sorry, not the same number, but 5%. Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's the same as previous. Previously we had 5%. Now the expectation is for the same number to come out. Okay, that's quite interesting. But the thing is that previously, last time we had quite a significant drop, I would say, from going from 6 to 5 all the way. So maybe, given the fact that also there was a good number, the good jobs number that came out last Friday, look, I would say I'm kind of betting a little bit more on the higher number than the 5%, to be honest, but I will hey, what do I know? I'm just guessing here, right? But just judging how everything's shaping up, maybe there could be a bit of a higher number. Not saying that higher than the 6%, but higher than the forecast, or let's say the same. But again, in that case, look, if we do get something like a higher number, then it might not work out well for the indices here. For example, okay, we have Nasdaq trading in a range with the 13,350 territories is providing fantastic resistance. That's the upper side of that range. We're also at the same time above this upside line taken from the low of the 25th of April. Now, look, I'm not excluding the possibility of retest of this upside line, but if we get a break of that, now that's where, yes, it could become interesting again, and we could see a drift lower towards the lower side of the range here. So basically something like this could be possible. That's my downside scenario for this index. Again, I'm not sure, of course, how the CPIs are going to go, but if those come out higher, then maybe we could see a bit of a down move in the indices, just because they will increase the chances for the Fed to hike rates again. Because look, I remember when last week I talked about this one when we were kind of it was showing that it was around 99% that for a no rate hike for next meeting. Well, I said to wait for it because it could start picking up the pace here, and we could end up being at around 50 at some point, 50% on each side. So yeah, this is like I said, if we have a higher number than the forecast than the previous, then yes, we could see this one leveling up, and then of course then we'll go further. We will have NFPs again, then we'll have the CPIs again, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, before the interest rate decision. So a lot will still change, and for now, look, I'm observing the price action here. So however, if the number comes out lower, then yeah, this might boost the market a little bit. Again, we'll see. I'm not trying to over speculate here too much, because unfortunately I don't have the crystal ball. But could be an interesting. That's why I'm approaching this from purely from the technicals, because if we get that breakout and we stay above this 13,350, this increases the chances for a further move north, where we could aim for that 13,500 level or the 13,740, which is the highest point of August of 2022, guys. I can see there in the chat room, ABEL00. ABEL00. There we go. I don't know. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Abethel, maybe. Abethel00. So yeah, good. How are you? Good. How are you? I hope you're doing good as well. I hope everybody else who's joining in here and are having a wonderful start of Wednesday, guys. Let's see what this day has prepared for us. And well, what everybody knows what it has prepared for us. CPIs, the US CPIs. Let's see if that's going to be the main market mover for this week, because again, of course, on Thursday, tomorrow, we have the BOE coming out with the interest rate decision. That could be a mover as well, but maybe mainly in the pound, to which I'm going to get in a bit. But yeah, coming back to Nasdaq, that's a simple game plan here. So let's wait and see. That's the only thing I can suggest right now. And keep your eyes on some of the levels. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Look, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one because I've already talked about it in my previous videos. Look, in a way, the fact that we are still trading above all of the EMAs here, that's good. That's a positive. The fact that we're from the short-term perspective, we formed something of a bullish flag, that's also a positive. However, a break above the 33,800 territory, somewhere around those lines, is required. Even if it's a bullish flag, even though we're still above the all of the EMAs, yep, I need to see a confirmation break above that area. And also what I would like to see the index staying above that area. Unfortunately, if it falls back below the 33,360 territory, 33,560 territory, that's where it could open the door back to the 100-day EMA, then the 200-day EMA, and then we'll have to take it from there. Maybe we'll start falling off the cliff here, and yep, more sellers could join in, but not at the moment. At the moment, we're observing the price action and waiting for a clearance of one of these levels. The German index, DAX. Again, hopefully, this could be today's news. Could be the market moving event. Because look, I mean, if you're a range trader and you like that, okay, that could have been for you here. But for me, I'm still waiting for that breakout, and I'm not getting it. So I need to see a clear push above that 16,063 territory in order to go higher. For the downside, I need to see a drop somewhere below this 15,800 initially. because ideally my scenario is from this 15,700, my downside scenario I'm talking about. So yeah, if we clear one of those areas, then yep, we could see a further push south here. And if we clear this 16,063, we could go a little bit to the upside. All this area right here is just neutral for me. US dollar, look. What I can see here is, yes, it's also playing the waiting game. We are stuck here below this territory. This is my breakout for the upside. I know we're a very conservative, but look, I will stick to that, honestly, because again, this has been a quite important area of resistance. If we clear that, then yes, more buyers could join in. We could see a push above that 50-day EMA, then we could see a move towards that 100-day EMA right here. In terms of the downside, a drop below the 100.83 territory would be needed in order to start considering lower levels, but probably more sellers could join in if we do drop below the 100.42 territory right here, because this would confirm a forthcoming lower low and potentially could open the door towards much lower levels, like for example the psychological 100 level or even below that. But for now, look, we're stuck here. If somebody is thinking that it's a range, okay, could be something like a range, but probably it's more of like a triangle actually pattern. So let me just put this on the chart. There we go. So something around these lines here, something like this and something like that. So yeah, we're currently stuck here, and in a way, I'm just, like I said, waiting for this one to move out of this pattern, and then maybe we could get a little bit more action in this one. But like I said, hopefully the CPIs can do the trick today. Now, gold. Okay, gold. Gold, as I said to you yesterday, that this might be seen as a possible bearish flag here. We have our pole, we have our little correction. What I said to you previously, that if we do push above the 2030 territory and stay above it, maybe I'll start considering some higher levels here. Maybe I'll go back to the this hurdle right here. There we go. Oh, why is it like that? Just bear with me one moment. So yeah, horizontal rate. So maybe I'll start looking at this here, this territory, the 2060 zone, could be a good target. But look, for now, what's happening? The fact that, yes, we stayed above the 2030 territory, okay, that's great. That's wonderful. That's one part of the deal. Now, the way it's going to shape up today, that's going to be critical, because if we continue to trade above that 2030 territory, yes, I'm going to lean towards the upside. If we start falling back below it, I'm going to take a neutral stand, because my downside scenario is from around this 2015 territory. So basically, I'm leaving all this area right here for maneuverability, for just kind of, go away, figure yourself out a little bit, and then come back, So at the moment, yes, we can see that we're falling back below the 2030 territory. But again, maybe this is going to be just a false breakout. Maybe not. Let's wait and see. That's why I'm leaving this area here just for the just for figuring itself out. These are my breakout levels. I mean, well, breakout. The 2030 has been already broken, but I would like to see the commodity staying above that. The price of that commodity staying above this hurdle in order to go higher. Silver also waiting. Yeah, look, I mean, I talked about this territory yesterday and actually the whole week. When I talked about this zone, I said to you that because we're currently in a range, this could be seen as a midpoint of that range. In order to go lower towards the lower side of the range, then yes, we need to see a drop below this territory right here. Yesterday we got that drop, but we failed to stay below it. If we continue to trade above this, then of course this kind of keeps that upside scenario on the table. However, as you can see here by my arrow, that a break of this upper side of the range for me is needed in order to get comfortable with higher levels. So just kind of playing, like I said, waiting. We want to see what's going to happen with the dollar, of course, and which direction it will take. And then we will kind of go from there. We're not going to try to predict the future and go before the news release, the data release. We'll try to react to it. Yeah, so yeah, guys, I can see that people are joining in. Like I said, if you have any questions, I mentioned this yesterday. If you have any questions, just you can drop it there in the chat box. If I'll know the answer, I'll answer it. I'll try to answer at least, or maybe I'll at least direct you to the correct place where you can get the answer. But anyway, yes, like I said, I hope everybody's who's joining in right now, are having a good day, good start of Wednesday. Could be an interesting one. Now, platinum. Look, I talked about this last week on Friday, and I picked up on this, and I said to you, keep your eyes on that one. We were still here on last week. We were still balancing above this 1036 territory, and I said that we are still below this downside line. If we break the downside line, then yes, we could go higher. Look at this beauty. We had a nice good push, and yes, we had a nice beautiful push here. So still, I am targeting this 1135 territory. Let's see if we can reach that, of course. But for now, the downside scenario, well, that's kind of slightly off the table unless it's a little temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. But for the downside right now, I think this downside line has to go, no longer needed. For the downside, I think that maybe if what I will consider something like that, maybe like a correction here at some point. But to be honest, I really don't know which exactly support level to consider better. Maybe it's going to be this, but maybe that's too much. Maybe this would be enough. So yeah, it's a little bit of on a tricky side. Maybe let's say something around these lines could be good. So this 1090 territory could be a nice good target. But look, for now, if you've missed the move here, I would say leave it, unless it starts correcting a little bit. If it starts correcting and, for example, starts getting a hold up near this 1090 territory and then rebounds from it and pushes back up, then yeah, this could be a nice good play. But if it starts, let's say, falling back somewhere below this little territory right here, below that 1076, 77 zone, maybe we could consider a bit of a retracement. But again, let's wait and see. For now, that's the game plan here for our platinum. Oil, WTI oil. There we go. We broke the downside line, but there's always a big but. 74 territory. That's what's keeping us here for now on the downside. We're struggling to overcome it. And if we do get a clearance of this territory, then yes, great, more buyers could join in. The 74 zone, it's not far from that 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, which I talked about already a lot, and probably you're already tired of me saying all these things, but hey, for now, the 74 territory is something that I'm keeping a close eye on, and if we do get a clearance of that, and together with the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, then yep, more buyers could join in, and that's where I'm going to aim for the 50-day EMA, and then for that 70, this area right here, so around the 76 zone, and we'll see if we can go further north. But at this point, we're struggling with that 74 territory and that 50% retracement in the Fibonacci. If by any chance, now this is where I will adjust my arrow here a little bit. If by any chance we start moving back down here, back below the 71.25 territory right here, that's where I'm going to consider a bit of a move lower. But like I said, let's wait and see. For now, we're at an interesting spot. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but a confirmation break for me is still needed. Crypto, Bitcoin, cash. Look at this beauty. Yesterday, popping higher, rebounding from this 111 territory. Look, I talked about this, and I said to you that if we do drop below all of these upside lines. I'm going to start looking at some lower levels initially for that 111.66, but if that gets cleared, my next target is the 105.09, roughly near the lowest point of March. We got that move. We found fantastic support near the 111.66, and look at this beautiful thing. Rebounded back up, pushed higher, tested the EMAs here, the 50 and the 100, and drifted and corrected back down a little bit. Now, the fact that we're back above the upside lines, okay, great. The fact that we have dropped back below this resistance area of mine, which is, let me just remove this a little bit for now. The fact that we moved back below the 121 territory, not really good, but hey, we'll still work with that, because if this continues to trade above the upside line right here, and somewhere above this 116.83, because as you can see here, it has been acting as a good area of support and resistance lately. If we continue to trade somewhere above this territory, maybe we could see a nice beautiful push back up here. But of course, let's not rush into anything. If you're not really comfortable with that scenario, look, you can always keep an eye on that 121 zone. If we push above that and we push above the EMAs as well, the 50 and the 100, well, it could open the door towards the 200-day EMA, and then we will go from there. Litecoin, this one's a little bit less exciting because, look, we're still stuck here in between these trend lines. I talked about this already yesterday, so my scenarios are not changing. So basically what could happen here is that we could start moving sideways here a little bit, maybe getting closer to one of the sides of one of the trend lines here, and then we'll just wait and see if we can get a breakout or not. But at this point, I'm just observing the price action here and waiting for a clearance of one of these trend lines. Ethereum, this one's a little bit on the bearish side. Again, I don't know if it's lagging because, again, sometimes I've mentioned this before that sometimes one of the cryptos, for example, shoots up higher and then the rest are kind of staying behind, and then suddenly the next day or the second day they start picking up again, or maybe, but again, this is what the thing is, you have to leave it, you have to give it time, because I know that somebody's saying, but hey, maybe you're going to miss out on an opportunity. True, but what if, let's say, if it's a good example is Dogecoin, you know, that one moves whenever somebody tweets. So, you know, again, that's why it moves higher. One of the cryptos might move higher, then it kind of fades off, and then just kind of gets back to normal, goes back to the same trend. That's why I'm kind of, keeping a cool head, or at least trying to keep a cool head, and I'm waiting for my levels to work out. So basically, for the downside, a drop below that 1,785 territories required. For the upside, well, this is where the tricky bit is. I think that what I'm going to stick to here is the EMA. If we push back above the 50-day EMA, I will start slowly aiming for the upside. So just going to try to approach it from a simplistic way, from the simplistic side. AUDUSD, just a quick update as well. Look, also waiting for the CPIs today on this pair, because if suddenly, let's say, we get a strong dollar reaction, we get a strong reaction in the dollar, a bullish reaction in the dollar, then, well, expect this pair, to move lower here, maybe even back below the EMAs. And this is where one of my scenarios could work out. What I said to you previously, that if we do drop back below the EMAs here, then we could move lower within the range here. We could move towards the lower side of it. If we do push above the 0.6793 territory right here, then yes, more buyers could join in, and we could see a move towards that 0.6920 territory, and then we will go from there, guys. So long story short, for now, I'm keeping an eye on this barrier. If we do get that push above that 0.6793, and yes, if the US dollar weakens, then beautiful rise here, maybe even all the way towards that 0.6920 territory could be possible. AUDCAD, just a quick update. Not going to spend too much time on this one because again, I started liking it very much. So far, it's kind of doing okay. We're still balancing above this downside line, which we broke after retesting it, and I'm keeping a close eye on that 0.9091 zone, 0.9107 maybe to be more precise. If we clear that one, then yes, I'll get a little more excited with the upside. For now, we're below all of the EMAs, so meaning that there is hope that for the bears that more downside here could be possible. But to be honest, for me, I would consider the downside only from around this 0.8958. If we do drop below it, then yes, potentially more sellers could join in. NZDCHF, there we go. A long time no speak about this one, and we broke the downside line. I talked about this and I said that's why my little arrow here was like this, because I was only aiming for that 0.5664. Very good potential target. Look, if we do clear that, great, we'll go higher. Or we should say we could go higher, aiming for the 100-day EMA or maybe above that. But for now, yes, I'm leaning towards the upside. If we continue to trade above the downside line, my next target is the 0.5664. For the downside, a drop back below this downside line is required, and if we do get that, then yes, I will consider a move towards this short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of April. USDJPY, just a quick update, slowly grinding higher. Look, I've mentioned this before, that I said to you that if we push above the 135.30, this is what I said to you yesterday. If we push above this 135.30 and we stay above it, this kind of increases the chances for this one to move higher. Now, I'm not really targeting too much upside here. First of all, I think that I need to get rid of this. So one thing what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to draw a Fibonacci, and I want to see if we can reach that 50% here initially. That's roughly at around 135.65 level. If we clear that, my next target is the 61.8% retracement on the Fibonacci right here, just slightly above the 136 level. Again, for now, like I said, I'm leaning towards the upside a little bit. I am targeting that 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. Let's see how the number comes out today. If it's in favor of the US dollar, then we could see this pair pushing nicely to the upside. However, this is where the little kind of trade-off could well, not trade-off, but probably the wrong word to use that, but an interesting moment. Look, when I talked about the indices, if we have in a moment where the indices will say, hey, that's a positive in a way, and they could react higher, but let's say the number comes out higher, then we could see maybe an initial reaction in the indices maybe to the upside a little bit, because maybe that's kind of a good sign that the economy is still running, and maybe the traders could see some positivity in that. But I think that it could be short term, and then the weakness could kick in, because again, everybody would be scared of the Fed's further rate hikes, and that's why it could be bad for the indices. And in this pair, this is where the question will be, who will outpull who? Will it be the stronger US dollar, or actually will it be the safe haven yen that everybody will choose to jump in? So that's why USDJPY is going to be interesting and at the same time a bit tricky. So just kind of keep that in mind. So if suddenly you don't understand what's happening, why it's reacting in this sense, so just kind of I'm leaving that there for you. So this kind of information for you to kind of keep in mind. USDCHF, also waiting for this one. Actually, not doing much. Just wanted to kind of run it by you again, just to say that look for the upside. I'm keeping an eye on this downside line and this 0.90 territory. If we clear that, I'll go a little bit to the upside. For the downside, a drop below the 0.8820 territory would be required. Simple as that. US dollar against the Chinese yuan offshore. Look, I've mentioned this before to you, and there we go. After I've reached my target here, one of my targets actually, the 6.95 territory. We retraced back down and we corrected lower. We tested this upside line again, and look at what's happening here. We're pushing back up, and we're actually still continuing to trade above this territory, the 6.91 zone, somewhere around here. So we're continuing to trade above that. That's great. Okay, that seems like that. Yeah, this bulls of this pair are still controlling the game. Let's see if they can actually push it back all the way towards that 6.95 territory. If they can clear it as well, the next target is the psychological 7 level. That's going to be my scenario. I want to see if this is going to work out or not. But if we start clearing that 6.95, then yes, I will aim further for that psychological 7 level. For the downside, what I would like to see here is a drop below the upside line and below that 6.91 zone, somewhere around here. I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying below it, and then yes, more sellers could join in here, especially if we start falling below the EMAs. GBPUSD. So of course, watching. Probably will be watching mainly the BOE decision. However, the CPIs, for example, in this pair, could make its impact, because again we have the dollar in here, and the way we'll see how the dollar reacts in all this. But for now, from what I see just on my chart at this point in time, basically we're stuck in between these two levels, the 1.2584 on the downside, 1.2666 on the upside. I need to see a clearance of one of these in order to consider the next short-term directional move. For the downside scenario, even if we break the hurdle there, my kind of next target is the upside line, actually, not the, let's say, EMA or this other upside line. That's for later, if we clear this shorter term upside line. But that's going to be my first target initially if we do fall below the 1.2584. For the upside, if we pop above the 1.2666 territory, which continues to present, continues to be a fantastic resistance level. That's, by the way, the highest point of May of 2022. If we clear that, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and well, the sky's the limit again, and we could start maybe shifting our attention towards that psychological 130 level. GBPCHF, something that I don't look at very often, but look, I wanted to run it by you because it's also interesting. It's also stuck right now, and it's oscillating around the EMAs. So what do we need here is a clearance. We need to see a push. We need to see a breakout here. So for the downside, that's what I'm keeping an eye on here. Roughly the 1.1048 zone, something around these lines, maybe even the 40 territory as well. Or if you are very cautious, then you keep an eye on this 1.0990 area. For the downside, then we could start aiming for this 1.09 territory, and so on and so on. But look, from the very short-term perspective, this here looks like a bullish flag. The fact that we're still holding above the 100-day EMA is also a little bit on the bullish side. My next target from the very short-term perspective is, just considering all that, is the this 200-day EMA, which is roughly around that 1.1313 level currently. And then we will kind of go from there, because look, overall we're still kind of on a bit of a decline, I would say. Maybe not picture perfect decline here, but something like that. So we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 31st of October. If we do break through it, okay, great, we will go higher. We could go towards the this barrier right here, the highest point of October of 2022, near the 1.1577. Good potential target, plenty of space here after the breakout of this downside line. So let's see. The only component that we're missing is the breakout itself. But, you know, before that, we need to get to that downside line. And before that, we need to get to that 200-day EMA. So, look, for now, from the very short-term perspective, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, just because we're kind of forming something of a bullish flag here. We're still above the 100-day EMA. But if it starts falling below the 100-day EMA and falls then below the 50-day EMA right here, and maybe even just for that extra cautiousness, 1.1192, then that's where it could attract more sellers here, and we could see maybe a drift to the downside, right? This like this something. But again, we're playing the waiting game. If you want to, for the upside, if you're looking for a level, maybe something around these lines, the 1.1260 could be a nice good area to watch. If we clear that one, then yes, the 200-day EMA is my next target. EURGBP, something that I don't like to look at, but I still look at. But so far, it's working out. Look, previously when I covered this, I said to you that keep your eyes on the 0.8718 zone right here. We need to see a drop below it in order to go lower. Well, okay, half of the route is done. My next target, I mean, it reached one of my levels here, so my ideal scenario here is towards the 0.8646. But what I said to you previously this week when I was covering this one, I said to you that, look, I'm going to keep an eye on these territories because it's really unclear which one is going to choose as a good support level. And as you can see, it shows this inside swing high of the 28th of November. I've marked this this week, and yeah, there we go. We had a nice test of it, rebounded, and now the question is, can we push back up? Well, for now, the scenario is this. Even if we do correct back up here, if we continue to trade below the 0.8718, I will still aim lower. For the upside, look, this upside line has to go. Now we're keeping an eye only on this downside line, and I think that the upside scenario could come if we do break this downside line and we push above the 200-day EMA. Then yes, potentially more buyers could join in. So anything up until here, up until this downside line, could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. EURUSD finally. So look at this flirty pair. It's flirting with that lower side of the range. Look, I talked about this yesterday as well. I said to you that if we do fall below the 1.1014, I'm aiming for the lower side of the range. We did that. We tested it. We broke it. We failed to stay below it. So now we're back above it. So now the question is, for me, can we actually get a push back up? Will this lower side of the range hold strongly? If it doesn't, well, guess what? It could open the door towards that 50-day EMA and towards that 1.0909 territory right here. So yeah, for now, long story short, I'm just keeping an eye on that one, and I'm not going to do much here. If we start pushing back above this midpoint, back above this 1.1014 or 13 territory right here, then I will consider a move towards the upper side of the of this range. And yeah, and then we'll go and we'll wait there to see if we can actually get a breakout through the upper side of it. But for now, we're near the lower side of it, where it's closer to this point. So let's see if we can drop further. If we can, and the most important is that even if we do drop, the question is, can we stay? Can we stay below that? If we struggle to stay below that, and we just kind of if we just create another false breakout, maybe the bulls here are not willing to give up, and they could push the pair back to the upside. So guys, that's it for this session. Look, I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this one till the end. Really, like I said, appreciate that. Thank you very much for your comments, for your rockets. Really, like I said, thank you for that. That really helps me a lot. But yeah, if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time, we'll have a look at some of these instruments, maybe some new ones. We'll see what reaction we got from today's news. That will be interesting, and what to expect further. And of course, we'll see how this has shifted. Something tells me that this could go a little bit higher tomorrow, but or at least after today's data. So, but again, let's wait and see. For now, like I said, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, don't risk more that you can afford to lose, and then everything will be fine. So thank you very much, guys. Bye bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.